this lecture. Now I will be discussing influence line, and we will be taking additional two different model problems than we already solved. In case of shear force, you have maximum and absolute maximum shear force. It may be either positive or negative shear force. Also, in case of bending moment, you have maximum and absolute maximum bending moment due to the moving load. So by using the influence line, let us find the analytical parameter for a determinate beam. Uniformly distributed load of 40 kN per meter longer than the span rolls over a girder of 30-meter span. So this is a simply supported beam, and hence it is a determinate beam. And you have an example of a UDL which is longer than span. So what do you mean by longer than span is, now the span here which is given as 30 meter, and the UDL has a span of more than 30 meter. It may be 40 meter. We can take it as an example. So if that is the case, how to find the shear force and bending moment? Okay, when looking into this concept, earlier problems what we solved is the UDL, and the UDL is much shorter than the span. So now the case is the UDL is longer than the span. So this condition is very much easy when you compare to shorter UDL span. So let us solve this problem and find the difference. Okay, also here a point C is given, and we have to identify the maximum shear force at point C. So this is what the given data, and if any point is given at the beam, we can take this as point A and point B, both the support, and the C is the support where you have to find maximum positive and negative shear force, and next thing is bending moment. So let us find the first criteria, which is maximum negative shear force. So in order to find that, we know the influence line for simply supported beam as shown in this pattern. So this is the negative part and this is the positive part. So if you want to find the height, now you know the distance from the support to C is 12 meters, 1 minus x by L. So if you are taking this as x and this as L, so x by L will be 12 by 30, and 12 by 30 will be 0.4, and 1 minus x by L will be 0.6. Now we have identified the two ordinates. So this is negative ordinate and this is positive ordinate. And if you want to find the negative shear force, we have to keep the UDL in the left hand part of the influence line diagram. So this is the left hand side part of the point C. So let us keep this UDL in left hand side and find the maximum negative shear. If you need positive shear force, you have to place the uniformly distributed load at right hand side of the required point. So if you are placing the load at a left hand part, so the formula is area into load, and our area is, this is the triangle, and the area of a triangle is half BH, that is 0.5, breadth is 12 meter and 12, height is 0.4. So the area in terms of negative, and the load intensity is 40. So if you multiply this, you will be getting minus 96 kilonewton. So this is the negative shear force, and if you need positive shear force, just take this UDL and place at the right hand side direction. So due to the UDL which is longer than this, the UDL will be placed throughout the right hand part of the point C. So if place the load at right hand side of point C, I will be having the remaining 18 meter distance and the whole 18 meter distance which will be covered by this load. So now if I want to find the shear force, that is area into this load. So area will be 0.5, that is half, into B is 18. So breadth of the triangle is 18 and height of the triangle is 0.6. So if you multiply this, you will be getting plus 216 kilonewton. And if you want maximum bending moment at point C, so now what we have to do is you have to find the influence line diagram of point C. How to find this? So the peak will be at the point C. So you have the formula AB by L. So this is A, that is 12 meter is A, and the rest of the distance which is B, and it is 18 meter, divided by L is 30. So if you multiply that, you will be getting 7.2. So the peak of the triangle will be 7.2 at the point C. Now you have the triangle, the formula is area into load. So the area will be 0.5 into distance will be 30 and this height will be 7.2. So now you got the area into the load will be 40 kilonewton per meter. Note that the UDL is covered throughout the span. If you have some ratio, that is UDL is lesser than the span of the beam, what you have to do is you have to find the ratio of placement of the load. So now there is no need of finding the ratio. Why? Because for the whole span you will be having this UDL. So the span and UDL will be having the same ratio, that is 1, and hence the UDL will be covering for whole distance. So in the previous problem, if you refer, the UDL might be small. If that is the case, then the UDL will be placed exactly at C with the ratio of span. So the span might be 12 by 30, and for the same ratio this UDL will be placed in that case. So now it is not required, and so your maximum bending moment will be 4320 kilonewton meter. And if you need absolute maximum bending moment, and how to find that? So now you don't have any point. So this is the given data. If you want to find absolute maximum bending moment, we know that the center of the beam will be having maximum bending, and to find that the total span is 30 and the center will be at 15. So if you want to find influence line at 15 meter, you have to substitute AB by L, and A and B will be same, 15 into 15 divided by L is 30. So now your influence line ordinate, maximum ordinate will be 7.5. Then you have to place the load. So the load will be acting throughout the span and it has an intensity of 40. So now if I apply this formula, area into load, to find absolute maximum bending moment, it is half into breadth is 30 and height is 7.5. So into load will be 40. So if you multiply this, you will be getting 4500 kilonewton meter. Note that the maximum bending moment is 4320 kilonewton meter and absolute maximum bending moment is 4500 kilonewton meter. So this is the ultimate case, that is the absolute case. The bending moment cannot go beyond this value. So this is the advantage of finding absolute maximum bending moment. And if you need absolute maximum shear force, now the shear force what you have found is at the C. You have placed the load at left hand side part and you have the negative shear force, and when placing the UDL at the right hand side of point C, and you have found out the positive shear force. Now if you need absolute maximum positive shear force, that is whatever might be the place of the load, I need the maximum shear force of the section. So in this case you have to place the load just right hand side of the support. So this is the point A. If I am placing just right of the support, so I will be having the load throughout the span. So this is the support reaction RA. So now if I am taking the support reaction of RA, the RA maximum reaction will be like this pattern. So while drawing this influence line, if you want to find the maximum reaction at any support, so this is the influence line pattern. So if I draw this kind of a pattern and I have to place this load at right hand side of the point A. So if you need absolute negative shear force, in the sense you have to place the load just left hand side to the support B. So this is the condition. Okay. So if I want absolute maximum positive shear force, I am placing the load just right hand side to the support A. I will be having a positive triangle, and the area of this triangle will be 0.5, that is half, breadth is 30, height is 1, into the load distance. The load will be 40. So if I multiply that, I will be getting 600 kilonewton. So if you need absolute negative shear force, you can draw the support reaction at B and you can place the same load. The absolute negative shear force will be same in negative sign. So this is the difference. So you can see that the problem is very much easier for the UDL longer than span. So if you find this kind of a problem in real time and in your examination, this is much easy to calculate when the UDL is shorter than the span. Okay. So now let us take another example, and you have multiple point load. In the previous example, we have taken 2 point loads. Now in this case, you have 4 number of point loads. So now let us find the requirement, and it is required to determine the absolute maximum shear and moment for the beam as shown in figure when a standard IRC class A driving vehicle traverse in either direction. So this is the loading case. In IRC code books, you have the intensity of loading. So you can take the intensity of load and the distance. So this is a defined distance, that is 1.1 meter, and this is 1.2 meter, and the distance in between the load is 3.2 meter, and this is 27 kilonewton and 27 kilonewton, and the next two load has 114 kilonewton each. Okay, so now the point load are 4 different point load. Okay, so now what you have to find is you have to find absolute maximum shear and moment. So there is no point which is given, and you can find the absolute maximum value. So in order to find that, what you have to do is you have to place this load right hand side in order to find positive shear force, and left hand side to find the negative shear force. So in order to find positive shear force, so let us take the support A, and support reaction at A is drawn here, and the ordinate will be 1, and this will be positive in sign. And what you have to do is you have to place the load in the right hand side of this support. So I have placed this load here. Now what you have to make is you have to find the ordinates. So how to find the ordinate? We know that this ordinate is 1. The height of the ordinate is 1, and the remaining ordinates, that is P, Q and R, distance has to be found out. So by using vertical and horizontal ratio, at the point A, you have vertical as 1 and horizontal as 16 meter. So for 1 and 16 meter, if you need the ordinate at point P, then let us substitute this as unknown as P divided by the remaining distance. What is the remaining distance? 16 minus 1.1 will be 14.9, and you will be getting the ordinate of P. So this is 0.931. Similarly, you can find the ordinate of Q and R. So Q distance will be, total is 16 minus 1.1 minus 3.2. So this is the distance, and you will be getting the value as 11.7, and for the same vertical and horizontal ratio, R will be at a distance of 1.1 plus 3.2 is 4.3 plus 1.2 is 5.5. So 16 minus 5.5 will be 10.5. So this is the ratio for R. So R by 10.5. So R by 10.5, this is the conventional ratio. So all the ordinates has been found out. Just you have to multiply load into ordinate to find the shear force. And these formulas which are discussed earlier, you can check the earlier videos. And this is our first load, that is 27 into the ordinate is 1. 27 into 1 and 27 into the ordinate of P. So we know the ordinate of P is 0.931 and 0.931 into 27 and 114 into Q. Q is 0.731, 0.731 into 114. And for R, 114 into 0.656. So these are the values. If I multiply and add this, I will be getting 210.21 kilonewton. This is positive and this is the absolute maximum positive shear force. Okay. So when you want to find absolute negative shear force, will the value be same? No. Why in the case? If I place the same load in the right hand side, in the left hand side of point B, what happens? Now the load is having different intensity. That is, first two loads are having 114 kilonewton and the rest of the 2-point load have 27 kilonewton. Now this point crosses the point B, you will be having maximum shear. When comparing to maximum positive shear, maximum negative shear will be higher than this value. So this is 210. So let us check that. Okay, if I want to find absolute maximum negative shear force, I will be placing the load just left hand side to the point B. And this is for the case of negative, I have inverted the triangle. So first ordinate is known, this is 1 and the rest of ordinate has to be found out. So we know that the distance are same, you can find the ordinate and the ordinates will be same as similar to positive shear force. Okay, now if I multiply 114 into 1, so this is for first ordinate. For the point P, I will be having 114 into 0.931 and 27 into 0.731 and the rest. If I add this, I will be getting minus 257.58 kilonewton. So this is the maximum shear. So between positive and negative shear, you will be having a different value in case of the load is different. Each load is different. If the load are same and the distance is same, then you will be getting same positive and negative shear force value. So this is the understanding what we got by solving this problem. And next thing, if you want to find absolute maximum bending moment, first you have to find the resultant force and you have to place the load equal distance from the center of the span. So now let us find this thing. We know the center of the span will be at 8 meter. So this is the center of the span. Total is 16 meter. And now the center of the span. So this is center and you will be having 8 meter and 8 meter. First let us find the resultant. How to find the resultant? So these are the two loads and the resultant has to be identified. To find the resultant, you have to take the moment at the first load. So I am taking the load as the point S here. Okay. So 114 into distance is, so if I am taking the load at first point of S, 114 into 5.5 the distance. So 114 into 5.5 and 114 into this distance will be 3.2 plus 1.1, that is 4.3. So 114 into 4.3 and 27 into 1.1. 27 into 1.1 is here. Note that you have to assume a imaginary resultant force and that distance is unknown. So R into X. So all are clockwise. So equal to 0. I know the resultant is sum of all the load. So 27 plus 27, 114 plus 114. You will be getting the value of 282 as the resultant. So now you know the value of R, the only unknown is X. So take everything outside this equation and divide it by R. I will be getting X as 4.07 meter, and this meter distance will be from the point of S. Why? Because we have taken the moment from this point. So the X will be starting from this point only, and from here the resultant is 4.07 meter. So this is what written here, and you can see the resultant load here. This is imaginary. You don't have to take shear force or bending moment for the resultant. To find a exact place to locate, you have to find the resultant. After locating, you can remove the resultant load. Okay, now we have found out that this is 4.07 meter of resultant. Okay, if this is the case, what is the largest load? So as discussed earlier, the maximum bending moment will occur with the largest load. So I can see a largest load as 114. So the distance between 114 and the resultant is, so the 114 is at a distance of 1.1 plus 3.2, which will be 4.3 from the point S. So if I subtract 4.3 minus 4.07, I will be getting the remaining distance, and the remaining distance is 4.3 minus 4.07 will be 0.23. So the distance from the resultant to the nearest maximum load is 0.23. What I have to do is I have to split the 0.23 into 2 half. So 0.23 divided by 2 will be 0.115 meter. So both the 0.115 meter is being splitted, and this center of the load, this position of the load has to meet with the center of the span. So this is the position of the load. So we have placed at this location. Now what we have to do is we have to draw the influence line diagram at the point O. Why? Because the point O has the largest load. So there will be maximum bending moment at the largest load. So 114 is at a distance of 7.885 meter. So this centroid is exactly at 8 meter. So if I subtract 8 minus 0.115, I will be getting 7.885. So I have located this exactly at 7.885 meter as the midpoint, and the remaining distance will be 8.115 meter. Now you can find the ordinates. So at the point O, you will be having the maximum ordinate. So how to find this maximum ordinate? AB by L. So what is A? A is 8.115 and B is 7.885 divided by L is 16 meter. That is the total span. Okay, if I multiply, I will be getting the ordinate of 4. So now the ordinate at O is identified. And what about the ordinate P? How to find that? Use the ratio, vertical by horizontal. How to find the point P? So let us take this right hand part of the triangle. So for 7.885 meter of horizontal distance, you have a vertical distance of 4. So 4 by 7.885, and this ordinate is unknown, that is P divided by the distance. So what will be the distance? You know that from 114 the next load is at a distance of 1.2. So 7.885 minus 1.2, which will be 6.685. So if I cross multiply, I will be getting the value of P. If I want Q and S, I have to use the same value. So I will be considering the left hand side triangle, and the vertical value is 4 by 8.115, 4 by 8.115, and for Q divided by the distance. How to find the distance? So the distance from 114 and 27 is 3.2, and if you subtract 8.115 minus 3.2, you will be getting 4.915, and you can cross multiply to find the distance of the ordinate of Q. And for finding S from this maximum load, you have a distance of 4.3. So 4.3, 8.115 minus 4.3, you will be getting 3.815 as the horizontal distance. So the same value. So to find S, you can cross multiply, and S is 1.88. Now to find the absolute maximum bending moment, I will be multiplying load into ordinate. So 114 into 4, this is the first ordinate, 114 into 4, and next is 3.39, that is P ordinate, 3.39 into 114, and 27 into Q is 2.42, 27 into 2.42, and last thing is S, that is 1.88 into this 27, 1.88 into 27. So if I multiply and add this, I will be getting 9588.5 kilonewton meter. So this is the absolute maximum bending moment. Whatever might be your load which is given, it may be a single point load or multiple loads, that is 2 and more than 2. We do not have to worry about finding the bending moment and shear force. To find absolute maximum bending moment, what you have to do is you have to first find the resultant from the point. So if you know the distance, and you have to place the resultant force with the equal distance from the maximum load. So the way you locate the load in influence line diagram is very critical here. During a practice, you will be getting this much quicker, and this is how the things work. And I hope that you got the concept of how to identify the maximum and absolute maximum positive, negative and bending moment, positive, negative shear forces and bending moment with this concept. And I hope you enjoyed this session. Happy learning. See you again. Thank you.